Isn't it nice to have 8 hours? Let's get my coffee and everything ready. Yes, there's never a bad time for coffee. Anyway, before I ramble any further, I just wanted to put this in front of the video. It's a disclaimer. Just letting you know officially that there are spoilers in this video. And I'm telling you that they're there so you don't get mad about it. And that's it. There's spoilers in it. And if you don't want to be spoiled, then don't watch it. And definitely don't pre-watch on the internet.
Haven't you dragged this out enough? Start the video already.
I just can't stress it enough. It's there. Warning, contains spoilers. Okay? So don't watch a video that contains spoilers. It's kind of like when somebody, you get a sundae at McDonald's, and they have the little packets of peanuts, and it says, warning, contains peanuts. And they eat it anyway. I just don't want that to happen. I'm being thorough.
You're only saying that because you would eat it anyway. If there was a button that said do not push, you would push it. But there's a button I need to push. It's the start video button. I'm going to push it right now.
But no pushing, I'm not done yet.
Final Fantasy XVI The Rising Tide, the new DLC that was just released for Final Fantasy XVI, and wow, it was a doozy.
It was absolutely beautiful.
Much like the last DLC, this one takes place before the end of the main game, but towards the end. So technically this DLC does not give us any closure on the ending of the game, much to the disappointment of many fans. However, the content that is here is very much worth looking at. The new story that's told introduces the icon Leviathan to us.
Yeah, we get a good look at Leviathan, and let me just say, he's got some good tricks up his sleeve. From water walls to projectiles, we even get a permanent or semi-permanent mount on Clive's hand.
Leviathan is pretty fun to use in battle. However, there is an interesting story about how we get Leviathan, so we'll go over that now.
It's a doozy.
The story starts with us arriving in a new land that was previously unknown to much of the world, called Mysidia. Here we meet a new character named Shula, who brings us to the dominant of Leviathan, which is a baby named Wallius. And wow, he throws quite a tantrum.
Yes, and when we say baby, we mean baby, in every sense of the word. A little pink mole rat wrapped in swaddling clothes.
A baby that's been frozen in time for 80 years.
Which I would call abuse.
You'll probably notice that Mysidia looks quite different from the rest of the main game. For one, we have a wide open blue sky instead of the purplish grayish sky that many call depressing that we see for the rest of the game.
A perfect and not depressing illusion made by the people of Mysidia. I was going to say Dissidia, but I didn't.
Hey, the fact that it's an illusion doesn't make it any less beautiful.
Actually, it makes it more beautiful, possibly. I mean, especially in this context.
Mysidia offers a wide array of new enemies to encounter, most notably the Tonberry, who was only mentioned in the main game rather than encountered. It's really interesting to finally see Tonberries appear in Final Fantasy XVI, especially seeing how different of a vibe they've taken on this time around.
A gritty, humanoid vibe. Every ounce of them, especially when you're looking at them from far away, kind of screams humanoid, especially when they got the hoods over their head.
Aside from that, there's also a lot of side quests to be done in this DLC, and the side quests very much mirror the qualities of those that were in the main game. Most of them aren't super unique in terms of gameplay. It's mostly find something for somebody or go and fight a monster for somebody, but the real meat of these side quests is in the story. They add a lot to the world and the characters that are in the world. The side quests are like interactive cutscenes that really add a lot of weight to the overall narrative, and even though they're not very innovative gameplay wise, they're fun to play through.
Yeah, they very much have that old school flair of what you would call a fetch quest. But it's a good fetch quest. You can actually get interested in it if you try. It's just extra content. If you want to go up that mountain, get that extra thing, bring it back, if that's something you're interested in, then this DLC gives you the opportunity to do that. And if you're upset about it, you probably didn't do side stuff in the first place.
But I can't stress enough that much like the main game, the side quests in this DLC add a lot to the main story. If you're only doing the main stuff and not the side stuff, you're missing a decent chunk of the content, and you're missing a lot of the world building that's there.
Yeah, there's one side quest especially that is tied into the story.
Needless to say, I would heavily advise against skipping them. Do them. Even if they're not that innovative, the story stuff is great.
I totally think you should. It's more content for you.
I mean, one of the side quests will show you what really feels like the DLC's true ending. I'll put it that way. You're kind of missing out on a solid conclusion to the story if you don't do all the side quests. The main story basically revolves around one plot: freeing the baby Wallius from his 80-year stasis, and Clive does this by getting Leviathan from him, which results in a huge fight against Leviathan. And boy, is that an epic boss battle. I'm not even joking when I say that this is possibly the best boss fight in the entire game. That's debatable, but it certainly is possibly the best one. Especially towards the end of the fight, Leviathan creates this shield that you have a very strict amount of time to destroy, and if you fail to destroy the shield, then you automatically lose the battle, as Leviathan summons a huge tidal wave on you that wipes out you and the entire village. It's a fun time.
When he erects his shield, you have a time limit. If you make any mistakes, you don't get there in time, he causes you to waste too much time, you will not beat it.
I'm serious, you have no room to mess up against this shield. This shield demands nothing less than perfection, and perfection's not easy when he's constantly hurling projectiles at you and attacks from below the water. So needless to say, this is a boss battle that will get the heart pumping, and I think that's what a lot of fans want.
And you have to throw everything at it. You can't just rely on a few attacks to do this. You have to be on it.
And that's especially nice to see, considering how this is the big boss fight that everyone came for. There's other fights in the DLC that lead up to it, but this one is the main attraction, we'll put it that way. And it's a very cinematic fight, too. It is simply gorgeous. It's a fight that really showcases what the PlayStation 5 can do.
The water zipping around you, all the fancy work that Leviathan does, zipping around your head to and fro, it really is a visual treat.
After we complete that boss battle, we also unlock an additional challenge, basically a tournament-like challenge called the Cairo Skate.
It has 20 floors to it, and if you die even once, you have to do it over again.
Yes, but to help us with that difficult challenge that the Cairo Skate presents, we are also presented with Ultima. And Ultima is so powerful that he almost makes every other icon obsolete. I'm not even joking.
Very, very ominous indeed that he would show up.
Leviathan is very, very cool, and he's technically the namesake of this DLC. I mean, it's called the Rising Tide, and he has some really epic abilities, like Clive turning his arm into a water cannon that looks like Leviathan's head. But by the end of it all, Ultima really does overshadow Leviathan. Even his base attack, it's just so powerful and has such a broad reach behind it, and also Clive levitates in this, so it kind of reminds me of Final Form from Kingdom Hearts 2, but slower.
Ultima really does outshine Leviathan. It pains me to say that, considering the DLC is named after or named around Leviathan, but it's true. He shows up at the last minute, but he has an absolute steamroll set of attacks. You can blow through enemies pretty quickly. It's not entirely broken, but he is very powerful, and you'll feel compelled to use him more so than some of the others.
And the Cairo Skate is a really well-balanced challenge, and believe me, it's good you have Ultima because it's a hard challenge. There are 20 floors, and most of the floors are pretty easy, but every once in a while there's a really hard one, and what really makes the challenge hard is that you can't use potions. and you only get minimal health restores on every floor, so you have to be really careful about taking damage in this tournament. You've got boons and enhancements to help you out, however, the inability to heal yourself through potions still makes it hard. Now, you can still heal yourself using the limit break, which gradually restores some HP. Every once in a while, Torgal can also restore some of your HP, but apart from that, the only thing you're going to get is a slight health restore at the end of each round.
Do not go in unequipped. I know I've done this before, but I've regretted it every single time. Do not do it.
Also, the game is going to revert you down to level 40 for the whole tournament, no matter what your actual level is. And throughout the tournament, you can use your enhancements to raise things like your defense, your HP, your attack power, etc.
Also, there is a secret boss called Shadow Clive, which is what the name implies, a shadow version of Clive. But in order to fight that, you have to clear all 20 floors on Final Fantasy mode and get an S rank. Not easy to do.
There are two prominent characters in this DLC that were not in the main game. Famiel and his sister Shula. Now, Famiel appeared in the first DLC, Echoes of the Fallen, as some of you might remember. Famiel and Shula can be summarized fairly easy. Famiel is always doing something he's not supposed to be doing in the name of adventure, and Shula is the protective, kinda big sister / mom type of the village.
Yeah, and if she didn't watch him, he would kill his friends. I'm convinced of this. Not on purpose, of course.
This DLC gives Clive plenty of new moments to shine as well. However, if I had to make one criticism, and this is something other people have mentioned too, it's that Joshua and Jill don't get a lot of new time to shine, so that's something that people might notice.
Right off the bat, especially if they were excited about it. It's kind of there, but it's not as thick as it could be.
Yeah, I'll be honest, Joshua and Jill are barely in this. I mean, they're there, but that's basically the extent of it. They're there.
They're there, so take comfort in knowing they're there. You're on the stage, you can see them, but so much as having any closure about what happened in the game or anything like that, no.
I mean, that's really all there is to say about Joshua and Jill. They're there.
They're there, sending you emotional support.
But otherwise, the DLC holds up on Clive, the new characters, the exceptional boss battles, and the interesting new world.
Yeah, the boss battle was exceptional, can't stress that enough.
The music in this DLC is also pretty amazing. It takes the theme from one of the trailers and remixes it into several different styles, and that theme ends up being a base for most of the new soundtracks here, but they sound really good nonetheless.
It really does fit the bill. Even the music with the tsunami attack is good. Hell, there's that silence. You know your character is going to bite the big one.
I mean, actually, we're just going to play that for you real quick. Take a look.
It's glorious.
See, did that scene alone not just sell you on this DLC?
Yeah, that is the best take of Leviathan I think I've ever seen.
If a death animation like that doesn't sell you on the DLC, what will?
Yeah, that's true. I can't really fight that.
Anyway, that about covers it. There's a lot of positives in this DLC, and very few negatives. Except for poor Josh and Jill. They were really done dirty.
A lot of Josh and Jill fans are going to be miffed about that, but it happens from time to time. It's disappointing, but it happens.
Anyways, thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And go kick Leviathan's butt.
Yeah, kick it hard.
See you next time.
See ya.
Thank you.
All right, I turned on the mic again because I always have to have the last word. And I just want to let you know that I hope you enjoyed the video. And I hope you like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have something that you want to request, then request it in the comments below. All right, that's all I got. Bye.